All right there. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the bad British accent. That was my horrible segue into the Harry Potter book tag. I've been thinking about doing this tag for a while since I saw it on Mercy's Bookish Musings channel, and I just finished rereading the whole series on audiobook this summer, and I felt like this would be a great time to do a Harry Potter book tag. Plus, I also got something really cool in my bonus points from Scholastic, a Hogwarts yearbook. It's super fun. It has pictures from the movies and different things, and you can add stuff. For example, this one is what kind of clothes would you give to your house elf? So you draw them a little outfit. And there's all kinds of fun things in here. Alright, so for the book tag, the first question is, what is your favorite book? My book has always been number 3, which is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I've always loved that one because we really start to get into plot here. The first 2 books are so much about world building, and not that there's no plot there, because of course there is, and we have the whole Chamber of Secrets in number 2 and the Sorcerer's Stone in number 1, and they're all important things. But I feel like number 3 is where we really start getting into the characters and the story more, and we can spend less time building up the world and describing the things that are going on. I also love number 3 because when Harry is able to produce his Patronus, and it's in the shape of his father's Patronus, and it gets me every time just thinking about how much Harry's parents are still in his life, even though he never really got to know them. Question number 2 is, what is your favorite movie? And I would have to say that's also number 3. I think they did a really nice job managing the time frame, switching back and forth with Hermione and her time turner. And of course we have Professor Lupin, who I think was wonderfully acted. And we've got all kinds of different characters being introduced in that movie. Not just Lupin, but Sirius, and all kinds of conflicts. And I can't think of enough good things to say about number 3, whether it's the book or the movie. And yeah, the movie didn't explain every little thing, but what movie ever can? I mean, they did a pretty darn good job. Let's be real. Alright, question number 3 is, what is your least favorite book? And I had a really hard time figuring out an answer to this question. I think if I'm going to be forced to give an answer, I'd have to say number 1. And that's just because everything's being set up and there's so much explanation going on into what's happening. And the first time through, it's very magical because you're learning and diving into this magical world. But when you're rereading the series many times, as a lot of us have done, then number 1, there are some places where I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand this. Let's get back to the story. Let's get back to the action. But not to take anything away from that book, because still it's fantastic. But if I had to say a least favorite, that would be why. Next question is, parts of the books or movies that made you cry. There have been many times where I have cried at different moments in Harry Potter books or movies. But the most recent one, when I was listening to book number 5, I don't know, I'm sure that I knew this already and maybe it just hit me a different way or something, but toward the very end of the book. So if you haven't read number 5, plug your ears for about 15 seconds here. Harry and Luna are talking about how they're in the ministry and they can hear voices from beyond the veil. There are people that have passed away that were beyond the veil, and they can still hear their voices because our loved ones are still with us. And that just made me cry. Yes, I have my wand pen out. Can't talk about Harry Potter without having some kind of wand, in case you need to pull out a little Hermione swish and flick. Aha. Okay, this next question made me laugh. If you could hook up with any Harry Potter character, who it would be? Who would it be? I had a hard time with this question just because when I first read the books, I was first newly in college. I had just finished wrapping up high school and getting into college, and the characters are teenagers, and so even from my very first reading experience, the characters are younger than me, and most of the characters anyway, and I hate that phrase, hook up. So I'm gonna, in my mind, just think of it as which character would you possibly date? And I'm not going to choose one of the teenage characters, as previously stated, because I still can't get my brain wrapped around that. But I thought about this, and I think I would date Sirius Black. He is a guy that no matter what he has been through, being in prison for over a decade, or seeing his best friends murdered and betrayed, or whatever it may be, having to be on the run, anything he goes through, he keeps fighting for what he believes is true and for the people that he cares about. And you just can't buy a person like that. That he's such a good man. So that's why I would choose Sirius. Okay, my favorite character, Ronald Weasley. Ron is the comedic effect in the books. He's the guy who gets the girl. He's the best friend that's loyal no matter what. And yeah, he and Harry have an occasional fight, but, you know, he's always there when it comes down to it. Ron is just awesome, and as I mentioned, he's comedic effect, and I love characters that can make me laugh. It's the best. All right, next question. What would your Patronus be? I did the little Patronus test on Pottermore, and they said a ragdoll cat. That's okay. I'm okay with a ragdoll cat, but cats have never been my favorite animal. I think, just to be different, and because I love this animal so much, maybe I would say a moose. Moose are awesome. Where I live in Wyoming, moose come into our town pretty frequently, not like an everyday basis, but several times throughout the year we've got moose. And in fact, just a week or so ago, I was driving home late one night, and there was a moose just down the street from my house eating off branches of a tree. Moose are pretty cool. They're scary. Don't go up to a wild one. I'm serious. They can be pretty mean, but they can defend their families and take care of business like the best of them. So, moose. Okay. Next question: which of the Deathly Hallows would you choose? I think I would choose the invisibility cloak. I've always thought invisibility would be such a fun superpower to have, or ability to have, to be invisible and like sneak around. Maybe it's the writer in me. I want to be able to spy on everyone, or whatever. Not in every situation. I mean, ew, but just to like sneak around different situations and go, wonder what's really going on there. And if I were invisible, I could find out. Okay. What house would you be in? Pottermore says I'm a Slytherin. Don't know how I feel about that. You can see I've got my Gryffindor scarf on today. I love Gryffindor because of what they stand for. They're brave, they're loyal, they tend to always stand up for what they believe is right. But I think if I actually were to go to Hogwarts and be sorted, I think I would be put in Ravenclaw, because I am so oriented towards reading and writing and just very academic. Not that I'm super smart, but academically inclined, I guess, is what I'm saying. Is just that's kind of more what my personality is geared towards. So I think that I would actually, for realsies, be sorted into Ravenclaw. Okay. Next question. If you could meet any member of the cast, who would it be? Rupert Grint, because he plays Ron, who is my favorite character, and he does so very well. And gingers are awesome, and what more reason do you need? There you go. Have you played any of the video games? No. I am not a gamer kind of person. I'd rather be either, if I'm going to dive into a fictional world, I'd rather it be in a book, and then second choice would obviously be a movie. I've never been a big gamer. When number 2 came out on DVD, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, there was a game on there that you could play in the extras about trying to figure out what different parcel tongue phrases were, and I played that for a few minutes, but that's as close as I ever came to playing like a Harry Potter video game. Next question. If you were on a Quidditch team, which position would you play? I am not super great at sports. I played softball in high school, and I played a little bit of soccer as a kid, so I kind of based that my answer to this question on the limited sports ability that I have. Most of my other sports things were horse stuff, and there are no horses in Quidditch. So I think I would be a beater because when I played softball, I was a pretty good hitter, and I think I could take out somebody with my bat if I needed to defend our team, or at least beat the ball. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a beater, is to keep that away from the other players. All right. Next question. Were you happy with the ending? I'm going to say yes, mostly. I would have loved to have both of the Weasley twins still around. Tragically, we lost one of them in number 7, and, I just miss him. I mean, even though there's only a couple chapters left between the time that he dies and the end, it's like, ah, come back. And there are so many other great characters that we lost, but if no one had died on the good side of the war, then that would be completely unrealistic. In order to get to peace, sometimes you have to experience loss. And it would be very unrealistic to say that they could do this without losing anyone at all. So I understand why we had to lose some people. So 99.9% absolutely happy with the way the series ended. And I like how she did that little teaser with Harry and Ginny's kids and Ron and Hermione's kids at the end of number 7. I'm just saying all kinds of stuff, and if you haven't read these books or seen the movies and I've spoiled something for you, I'm really sorry, but where the crap have you been for 20 years? Really? Okay. Last question. How much does Harry Potter mean to you? I don't even know how to say this. Harry Potter... I don't know. I think that there's a lot of reasons why this means a lot to me. I love the stories. You get the feels going, being able to have compassion for the characters and get caught up in their life and their struggles. I love the magical world. It's so well built, and J.K. Rowling did a wonderful job with writing. She really did create a microcosm or small world within a world in her writing, and she did just a beautiful, beautiful job. I love the way that it grabs readers. As a teacher as well, I am absolutely going to love any book that can get kids to read, and Harry Potter does an amazing job with that. I have bits of Harry Potter all around my house. Just over my shoulder, you can see the Harry Potter shelf that I've got going on, and this is just part of my Harry Potter stuff. I've got some other stuff in my office, and there's some things in my room, my bedroom, and just different stuff going around, but Harry Potter's just everywhere, and I think why I like having so many reminders of it is because of the lessons and the themes that J.K. Rowling brings up in her writing. There are so many. I jotted down a few. I really like the theme of friendship, how friendship is important to not just your school years, but to your life. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes the friends you make in your school years are going to be the friends that you have for the rest of your life. And that also ties in with the theme of loyalty being so important, that when you believe in someone, you stay loyal to them no matter what. And we see that through the series, that there are a lot of people wishy-washy on how they felt about Harry, but you have people like Ron and Hermione and the whole Weasley family and several others, Hagrid, and people who, no, we have faith in him, he's our friend, we're going to be loyal and believe what he's saying. Yeah, we believe when he says the Voldemort's back, and yeah, so loyalty is another good thing. Courage, of course. We have wonderful characters like Neville Longbottom who find courage in ways that they might not have before, or maybe they realized that they had courage when they didn't think they had it. Do you guys remember when there was this talk about J.K. Rowling writing a book about the real hero, and now it's going to be about Neville and all this stuff, but somehow it got messed up? And I can't remember if this was just rumors, if she really was going to write that book, but I was so excited about that because Neville, He's such a fantastic character. And he's one of those people you're like, oh my gosh, he's just a good kid, and you wish all these wonderful things to happen for him. And love is the other theme that comes back, this topic of love and how love conquers evil. And I remember after I read the first book, and we find out that the reason why Harry is able to defeat Voldemort and why he lived even is because of love. I remember buying another copy of this book and giving it to someone that I thought a lot of, and I wrote a note about it and said, please read this book. When the series first came out, there was a lot of talk about, oh, it's witchcraft, it's teaching people how to become a witch or a wizard, blah, blah. No, it's not. It's a story. Come on, people. But I know that this person had this concern, and so I wrote her a big note, and I said, it is not about that. It is about love and family, and please, please read this book. And I don't know if she ever did, because I moved on from the situation where we connected. It was a college group kind of thing, and I don't know if she ever read it. I hope she did. Anyway, yeah, that's, you can see I was gushing for quite a while about that last question about how much does Harry Potter mean to you. I'm just really happy to be in a world where Harry Potter exists because of these wonderful, wonderful reasons why I have previously discussed. So anyway, moving on. If I were to tag someone in this video, I think I would want to tag Emma from Emma Books. She is hugely famous, probably has no idea who I am. I've commented on her videos a couple of times, but I mean, she probably has no idea, so she probably would never even find out that I would tag her. But I know she's been rereading Harry Potter as well, and I would be interested to learn some of her answers to these questions. So there you go. I hope that you have been able to find something enjoyable in this Harry Potter book tag and maybe inspire you to reread the series or read them if you haven't. And if you haven't, really seriously go read them. They're so, so good. So, 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 so good. Okay, I will stop ranting now. I hope you all have a lovely day. Happy reading. Adios.